Hello! What if I told you that one simple mistake costs you nearly $10,000 in lost revenue every single month, and that you, yes, you, can do one thing right now to totally reverse that and start putting that $10,000 straight into your pocket instead? Well, doing this one thing helped me figure out my most profitable course niche, and now every single month, and that you guys going live has all its craziness. My phone just went off. All right, so doing this one thing helped me figure out my most profitable course niche, and now I bring in 5 figures every month with one single course. Seriously, this changed everything for me and it will change everything for you too. So today I'm going to show you what this one thing is and show you how to use it step by step so that you can find and refine your money making niche. And it's so easy. You will have absolute clarity about your niche by the end of this live video. So let's get going. Are you ready? Let me know in the chat if you are ready to go and if you're ready to find your money making niche. So hello, Anna. Hello, Beth. I'm so happy that you guys are here live with me, and stick around because we're going to have a nice Q&A at the end. All right. So let's dive in. What do Louisa, who made 70K in 2 months, Karen, who made 66K in 3 months, and Tiffany, who made 12K in 90 days, even though she had zero audience, all have in common? I'll tell you, but a bit of good news first. All right, you already have everything that you need right now to get super specific on your niche and create the exact program that your dream clients have always wished for and that they'll beg to buy. Just like the 3 ladies that I just mentioned. So, drop in the chat, let me know, do you believe that you already have everything that you need to create the exact program that your clients have always wished for? Yeah, you do. All right. See, an online course and your niche is nothing more than a bridge from point A to point B because you, the course creator, are already sitting happily at point B, right? Maybe you're even day drinking. Okay, this is just coffee, you guys. But you're sitting there at point B and you're celebrating the fact that you have successfully gotten your butt out of that sucky point A. Meanwhile, your potential clients are having a miserable time back at point A. And to get them over to that point B, whoops, oh my God. And to get them over to that point B paradise, you need to build a bridge. Okay, so you're at point A, you are happy, you're like, I've figured it all out. Your client's over here at point B, and they're like, shit, I am in pain, I am stuck, I don't know what to do. So you need to build that bridge for them, okay? And we can both agree, or all of us here can agree, right? That in order to build a bridge, before you lay down a single brick, you need to know exactly what 2 points you want to connect, right? And to get clear on your niche before you create a single piece of content or build your online course, you need to start by knowing exactly what your client's current point A looks like and what their desired point B looks like too. In other words, you need to get crystal clear on the transformation. Now, what's a transformation? Anyone in the chat? Can you tell me what a transformation is? A transformation is the big result that their ideal clients want to see in their own life. So your ideal clients want to see a big result in their life. And ideally, this is a big result that you yourself have been through or that you've already helped other people achieve. Even if it's just like family or friends, you don't even necessarily have had to work with clients yet. But that big transformation, the transformation is that big result. And guess what? Your niche is nothing more than the journey from where your clients are now to that big result that they want. Now, I got to come in here and say this because I hear it all the time, right? I help people feel more aligned, or I help people be good at Instagram. That is not a clear transformation. It's not. It's simply not a clear transformation because it's very vague and it's very broad. But don't panic, okay? Because remember how I said that you already have everything that you need to define your niche and to create a course that brings in $10,000 every month? You do, because you've already crossed over from point A to point B, meaning you've already been through that transformation that your course will deliver. So the first step is simply to clearly articulate that transformation and to get really specific about what points A and points B look and feel and smell and taste like. So I know that a lot of people get stuck here, either at this point or they have like a really hard time getting beyond something really broad, like I teach copywriting. Oh, I see you. I see you in the chat. So what we're going to do now is you're going to get out a pen and a paper, because I'm going to walk you through a few questions to answer that'll make this super clear for you. And in fact, I actually created a doc that is going to help you with this. It's a secret document. You can't find it anywhere. So if you want the secret document, just drop your email in the chat and I will send it over to you right now so that you can follow along while we are talking about the stuff. Okay. So drop your email in the chat. I will send you the secret doc right away so that we can do this together. All right. Okay. So to get super clear on your niche, I want you to answer a few questions for me. And again, drop your email in the chat if you want the doc, and I will send it to you so that you can follow along. Okay? If not, just get a piece of pen and paper. All right? Hello, Guy. Hello. So good to have you. All right. So here are some of the questions that are going to help you get super clear on your transformation. And let's go through these really slow so that you have time to really articulate them. All right? Hello, Katani. All right. I was at my lowest point when. So I want you to think about your life, and this can be in relation to your niche, or it can just be in general, right? And so let's say you are a dog owner, okay? I was at my lowest point when I couldn't leave the house because my dog destroyed absolutely everything every time I leave the house. So I couldn't get a date and I couldn't find the love of my life because my dog was making my life living hell. Okay. Or if it's in relation to your niche, like me, it could be like I was at my lowest point when I had tried everything for my online business. I'd created a bunch of content, I'd created a bunch of products, but I still couldn't reach my revenue goal. That's when I was at my lowest point. Okay. The next thing you're going to fill out is how you felt. So I felt, and now we're going to say with the dog example, I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I had no freedom to go out because my dog, destroyed everything. I felt like I couldn't afford to leave my dog home alone because the expenses that I would have would be too much. Or if we're talking about the business example, could be like, I felt like I was useless, like I would never be fulfilled, like I would never be able to create this business of my dreams. I felt like everything was going to fall apart for me and that I was never going to reach my goals. Okay. So write these down. And again, if you want to follow along the doc, just drop your email. We'll send it to you. Okay. All right. So I was at my lowest point when. You've got that, and you've got I felt. So really dig into how you were feeling at that moment. All right. Next, you're going to write down my ultimate goal was to. So if you're the dog person who had the dog who can't be left alone, my ultimate goal was to be able to go out and leave my dog at home and have him not destroy all my shit. Or if we're talking about the business example, my ultimate goal was to make $10,000 per month without having to launch and without, having to go crazy with content. Ultimate goal. What does that future look like? What is it that like you, when you were at your lowest, were truly wishing and hoping for more than anything else in the world? You guys, by the way, you could totally drop this in the chat. If you want to like share your lowest point, how you felt, what your ultimate goal was, we can build your transformation statement together. That's why we're live. All right. So go ahead, drop that in. Let's do this together. All right. So my ultimate goal was to go ahead. And then you're going to write down what you wished for. I wished for a relationship. With the dog example, right? I wished for being able to go out on dates and meet people. I wished for freedom, right? So that I could just go out and have fun with my girls and leave my dog at home and not worry that she's going to fucking destroy everything. With the business example, it could be like, I wished for consistent revenue so that I could feel safe and secure. So Go ahead, write that down. What did you wish for? And then finally, we're going to talk about what you had to change, right? So I had to change from blank to blank. So you were at your lowest point, you were desperately desiring this future state. So what did you have to change? With the dog example, you had to change from having a dog with separation anxiety that couldn't be left alone to having a dog that was trained to be left alone at home and feel good about it and not destroy things, right? With the business example, I had to change from following trends and DIY strategies to having an actual strategy that got me to reach my goals. Okay. So once you have these answers down, you just have to plug them into into the blank spaces. So if you've downloaded the doc, you'll see these are color coded, super easy. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to plug in I help the mirror of you at your pain state go from point A, so what you were feeling at your lowest state, to point B, which is what you want to feel, so that they can insert the desired feelings. So, dog example. I help people who have a dog with separation anxiety go from not being able to leave their dog at home alone so that they can't do all the things in life that they really want to do, to go to having a dog that is perfectly fine on their own so that they can have the freedom to go out, enjoy life, and not worry that the dog will destroy everything. In the business case, it would be like, I help frustrated, burnt out business owners go from not having consistent income to making $10,000 per month or more so that they can feel fulfilled and happy and safe in their business. All right. And then you are going to write out all the steps that you took to go from that point A to point B. So what this would look like with the business example for me would be I help broke and burnt out on experts, consultants, coaches, and online service providers who are sick of trading their time for money, go from not being able to make a living with their online business to making $10,000 with their online program so that they can feel fulfilled and confident, own their schedule, make $10,000 months without having a big audience, launching, or running paid ads. And then the second part of this, right, how you do this is to do this, I help them package their knowledge into a scalable online program, nail their messaging and marketing so that they attract their ideal clients on a daily basis, and automate their business so that they make money while they sleep. Okay? Awesome. Now you have your transformation statement. So if you weren't writing this down, if you weren't following along, rewind the video, fill all this out, get the doc in the chat. Just say, hey, I want the doc. We'll send it to you. But while you do that, I do want to warn you. You have to make sure that you can actually deliver the results. Otherwise, your business will fail. Like, I'm sorry to be mean, but that's just the truth. It's really, really important that you can actually deliver the results, because if you don't, then you're just going to take people money and nobody likes that, right? So it's really important that this be a problem that you yourself have solved before, okay? Or that you've helped someone solve, a client, a friend, a family member, whatever. Okay. The transformation declaration is that first piece, and congrats, you got this huge step out of the way. But in order to make sure that your niche will actually be profitable, we need to validate the demand for it in the real world. And what do I mean by that? Does anybody in the chat know what I mean by validating the demand in the real world? Like, how do we figure out if there's actually people out there that have a demand for this? Anybody? Drop it in the chat. Let's see your answers. All right. So what do I mean by validating the demand for it in the real world? We need to see if people actually want and need what you have to offer, right? Think about it. If you pick a big result that nobody wants, then it's going to be really hard to grow an audience and sell your courses, right? If it's a big result that nobody wants, it's probably not that big of a result. So here's how you're going to see if there's actual demand for your niche. All right, get that paperback out and that pen, and let's go through this. So, if you were to search, think about your big result, think about your transformation and the transformation declaration that you just came up with, and think about this. If you were to search for the solution to the problem that your ideal client is facing in their initial state, what would you type into the YouTube search bar? Like, okay, how to leave my dog at home alone without it destroying everything, how to make $10,000 per month. Think about all the searches that you could put into that search bar and make a list of them. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to search, and you're going to make a list of all the video titles that appear when you type this into your YouTube search, and all of the creators who are making these videos that are answering the question that you need to solve that big problem and that big result. All right. Next, you are going to make a list of Facebook groups that you might join to help you solve this problem. So maybe you might join a dog training group. Maybe you might join a like separation anxiety dog support group, right? Maybe you might join an online business group. So make a list of all these Facebook groups that you might join, and a list of all the influencers that you might follow. So who are people who are actually talking about this stuff and who, are creating content that's helping their clients and their followers solve that big problem and get that big result. Okay. So you're going to make this list, and here's what's going to happen. You're going to see that there's probably a lot of people talking about this. There's probably a lot of competitors out there. And at this point, you might freak out and be like, oh my God, my niche is saturated. This is why I can't make any money. Nobody's ever going to listen to me. Nobody's going to see me because there's too many people and I am nobody. Oh my God. Relax. Here's something that might shock you. Competition is a good thing. Competition means that there is demand for what you have to offer. And people will follow you and buy from you because you are you, right? There are so many people out there who do what I do. Hello, DS. Welcome. So nice to have you. All right. Let me repeat that. People will follow you and buy from you because you are you. There are millions of people that do what I do. There are probably millions of people that do what you do. But people will identify with you because you are you. And a lot of other people won't identify with you, and they'll identify with your competitors, and that's okay. Right? What really, really is going to make the difference here is your story, your personality, your journey, and the way that you can make a connection to the people who are your people. So repeat after me, drop it in the chat. Competition is a good thing. Okay? All right. Let me see it. Let me see it in the chat. Competition is a good thing. Means there's demand for what you do, and we love demand. Demand is what's going to make you money. Demand is what's going to get you followers. Demand is what's going to prove that you are in the right direction. Now, we just have to find your voice and make you the most magnetic person in your niche. All right? So, let's do that. Now we get to the part where we make you the most magnetic, the most let's try that again, because Brazilians speaking English here, it's always a little crazy. We never know what's going to come out of this mouth. Okay. Now we get to the part where we make you the most magnetic, the most charismatic, impossible to ignore authority in your niche. This right here is the most important work that you will ever do in your business. And if you skip this part, you will fail. Oh my gosh, I'm being so mean today. I'm sorry, you guys, but it's the truth. If you skip this part, you will fail, because this is what's going to guarantee that you choose a niche that will make you $10,000 per month or more. It's also how you'll know how to create content that's so magnetic. It makes your ideal clients comment things like, oh my God, you're reading my mind. Oh my God, how did you know exactly how I felt? Oh my God, I was reading your story and it felt like you were talking to me. These are comments that will like absolutely prove that you are being magnetic and that people are resonating with what you are saying. So this process right now is what's going to make that happen, okay? And when you do this step, you will get the 3 most important things that you need to make sales in your business. The first is real world information about what your clients actually want so that selling becomes easy. The second is confidence in talking about what you offer so that you build authority fast. And the third is an actual pipeline of clients who are ready to buy. No followers needed. Yeah, if you have no followers, don't worry. All right. Here's what you're going to do. Remember last step where you looked for Facebook groups, you looked for influencers, you looked for YouTube channels? You are going to reach out to the people that you found in the previous step and ask them to hop on a call with you. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to be like, hey, this is a super chill, no pressure call. And in that call, you're going to just ask them a few questions about what they're going through, why they haven't gotten the results that they want, and what it could actually feel to get those results. When you talk to people and ask them to get on a call with you, you're going to call it an insight call, and you're going to make it super clear that this is not a pitch and that you have absolutely nothing to sell, which at this point is totally true. Okay. So recap. Hey, would love to, let's think of a message that you could send. Hey, Joanna, I saw that you follow XYZ influencer, and I would love to ask you a few questions about dealing with an anxious dog. I'm doing some research. This is a call purely for research. There is no sales pitch. I have nothing to sell. And hey, you know what? I'd love to buy you a coffee in exchange for your time. Would you be open to that? Now, most people are going to say, yeah, absolutely. I would love to talk about this problem because I love talking about myself because people love talking about themselves and I get a free coffee. Hell yeah. Hey, by the way, you can expense that coffee. That is a tax deductible expense. All right. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to book that call and then you're going to get on the call. Okay. So now here's what's happening. You're on a call with someone who has a problem that you have a solution to. And now you're just going to ask them strategic questions that are going to position you as an authority and help you collect data about the stuff that you need to create magnetic content, to build a course, to be super clear on your niche. So if you've gotten the doc that I provided, remember, if you want the doc, drop it in the chat. Just be like, hey, send me the doc, and I will send it over. But these questions are also there if you want to follow along. All right. So once you're on the call, here's what you're going to ask them. You're going to ask them about their biggest struggles. So what has been tough or frustrating for you in relation to this big problem, in relation to your niche? This question helps you to identify the very specific pain points and challenges that your audience faces. Now, you're going to look for recurring themes and patterns in their responses, because then when you're creating content, you can use those patterns, you can use those recurring themes, and it's going to sound in your content like you're reading their mind. Do you get that? They're telling you in your own words what their biggest pains are, what their biggest frustrations are. And when you create content, you're going to use those same words so that they're going to be like, holy fuck, this woman can read my mind. All right. So that's the first question. Then you're going to ask about their fears. So you're going to say something like, what scares you the most about this problem, right? About not being able to achieve this big result. This question is going to reveal the anxieties and the concerns that your people are having and that's keeping them from achieving success. Like, these are going to be the things that are keeping them up at night that you wouldn't know unless that you ask them. And you guys, you can do this on a form. Yeah, sure. Send them over a form, whatever. They're never going to tell you in their own words in a form. Like, this is why you need to be on a call. Because they're going to be like, you know what? When I can't leave my dog at home alone because she destroys everything, it makes me feel like a failure because I'm not able to go to dates and I'll never find the love of my life. Like, oh my God, that is such a huge stretch between dog that can't be left alone and like what this person's actually feeling. And they're only going to tell you this if you ask them live. All right? Live on a call. So do that. All right. So next, you're going to ask them about investments. So you're going to ask them how much time or money have they spent in effort to fix this problem, right? This question is going to give you insight into what they've done in the past, how much money they've spent, how much time they've spent, and understanding these is going to help you to avoid doubling down on things that they've already tried that hasn't worked in your content and in your course. And it's going to help you to come up with unique solutions, right? And it's also going to be the single most important data that will help you to price your offer. Okay? So, how much time, how much money have you spent trying to fix this problem? And next, you're going to ask them, what's missing? Like, what do you think you are missing to reach your goal? Because this question is going to help you find the gaps that they have in their knowledge, in their skills, or in their resources. And you can address these gaps in your content, and it's really going to help your audience to visualize where they are now and where they want to be, right? So addressing that gap, like you are here and you want to be here, and to get from here to here, you need this resource, this knowledge, this skill. It's going to really let them know that, like, hey, this is what you need. I've got what you need. This is what you need. I got what you need. I'll tell you what you need. Is that a song, you guys, or did I just make that up out of my head? I don't know, but very important question. Okay. Hello, BVVVGFDFCCC. Sorry, that's your name, right? All right. Finally, while you're on these calls, you are going to ask your people, your person on the other side of the call, how will your life or your business look once you've reached that goal? Like, what's going to be different? How are you going to feel? Paint me a picture of your life once you have achieved that big, giant goal, that big result that you are looking for. And this is going to help you to really understand what your people are looking for in the future. Like, it's going to help you clarify their goals, their aspirations. It's going to help you paint a picture for them in your content that, like, you know exactly what they want. And again, you are going to do this in their own words, and this is so powerful because this is what's going to be like, oh my God, she reads my mind. How is this woman like fucking sense? What's the word for the people who read minds in Portuguese? It's sensitiva. Like someone who can read their person's mind. Jill wants the doc. Jill, Beth is gonna send you that doc right over. Can you send her? Can you just drop your email in the chat? Fatima too. Everybody, if you want the doc to follow along, drop it in the chat. All right. So drop your email in the chat. You guys, this chat is not going to be available later, so don't worry about people finding your email and scamming you later. This live is happening with us, just us right now. This is our own little world. All right. So by asking your people about their vision for the future, you can design your content and your course to help them achieve that exact outcome that they're looking for. This is what's going to help you create messaging that resonates, that makes you magnetic, that makes them think, oh my God, this person is exactly what I need. Okay. So these questions, and again, these are all listed out in the doc that you can get by just dropping your email in the chat here. These questions will establish your authority and give you literally everything that you need to make cash fast, because you'll know your clients' pains and desires in their own words, which is so powerful, so that you'll be able to create mind-reading content that attracts clients that are ready to buy like a magnet. You'll also know what they've tried and that hasn't worked so that you can build a curriculum that gets them amazing results and gets clients raving about you. You'll also know how much money the problem is costing them so that you can feel super confident about what you charge. And the most important thing of all, you will build a list of people who know, like, and trust you. Like, they've been on a call with you, they've told you all about what they're going through. Oh my God, hello, community building and sales. Okay, now here's a little disclaimer, and I must warn you that if you've gone through all this, you've answered the questions, you've created your transformation declaration, you've found your people through your competitors, and you've gotten them on a call. Disclaimer, the insight calls are so powerful that people who do them experience what I call the credit card in your face effect. The credit card in your face effect. What is the credit card in your face effect? It's when the person that you're talking to asks you at the end of the call how they can buy from you right now. Because think about it. You've been on a call with them, you've been talking to them for 20, 30 minutes, you're asking them questions about them, you're holding all this space for them to tell you about the things that they're going through, you're listening, you're nodding, you're like, yep. And you are positioning yourself as an authority through these questions. So at the end of the call, they're going to be like, so can you help me? Like, how do I work with you? Credit card in your face effect. Don't say I didn't warn you. All right. Now that you have absolute clarity on your niche, you can start to create content that's totally magnetic. And what's even better, you can sell a course that makes $10,000 fast, because the best part is, you guys, you don't even have to create it first. All right. So there's other videos on the channel where I show you how to create your course before you sell it. You can also book a call with the link here. I'm going to pin the link to the top of the chat if you want to get on a call, talk about it. But let's get to your questions. I am here to answer any and all questions about building your niche. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee now, because I've just been blah, 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 blahing for the past half hour while you drop your questions so that we can get those answered for you. All right. Questions in the chat, you guys. Oh, and by the way, let me just say that when you use the transformation as your niche, this is really, really powerful, because the transformation makes it very clear, like, what kind of content to create, right? So you can create pain point content based on where the person began. You can create future pacing content, so where they want to be. You can create content about all the steps that they need to take in between point A and point B in order to get that result. So this is really going to make your life so much easier. It's going to build those relationships with people so that you can create a pipeline of clients. And listening to their answers in their own words is going to give you such a huge advantage on top of any of your other competitors, because no one's doing this. All right. Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, then I am going to let you guys go. But I will be back I was going to say Tuesday. I will be back next Wednesday, 12 p.m. for another live chat with you. Oh my God, you guys, did I have lipstick on my face this whole time? Y'all need to tell me this, you know? All right, we have a question. Question coming in. When you are just starting off, what steps should I take first to figure out who to reach out to? Because I have clients in so many niches and they all seem like different people to you. Okay, so actually, oh, we have questions coming in. See, there's a little lag. So I always like, no questions? Doubt it. All right. So when you're first starting off, I think, Fatima, the really important thing to think about here is about a transformation that you can provide. So if you have, it's not a problem if you have clients in different niches, depending on what you do. So for instance, I have clients in a bunch of different niches, right? I have dog trainers, financial experts, menopause coaches, whatever. The point here that I need to think about is, what do they all have in common? So in my case, they all are really struggling to build an online business, and what they really want is consistent 10K months. So the question here is, like, I need to ask them about that struggle, not about their own niches. Um, Sean, feel free to drop your question. Okay. Drop your question and I will answer it next. So, Fatima, the real question is here is, what are they struggling with? Like, what do all these people in all these different niches, what are they struggling with? So in my case, they're struggling with making money online. You see how that's not niche dependent? All right. Let me know if that's clear, if you have any further questions, Fatima. Okay. Mind Shampoo. Oh my God, I love that. Love Mind Shampoo. Love that name. All right. So Mind Shampoo is asking, do you think finding women for those interviews on LinkedIn is a good idea? How would you approach it? It depends on your niche. Okay, so Mind Shampoo, I don't know what you do, but let's say it's what could I guess from your name here? Mind Shampoo, what you do is meditation. You clean out your mind. You see how I did that there? Okay, if your people are hanging out on LinkedIn, then yeah, it's a really good idea, especially if what you do is directly related to their business. So let's say that you help them meditate and clean out their minds so that they can be more productive in their corporate job, then LinkedIn is a really good place to do that. However, if you're like, I help people meditate and clean out their minds so that they can be more present when spending time with their families, then you're probably better off looking for people in Facebook groups or on Instagram. So this is why it's really important to have a look at your competition and really figure out where your people are hanging out. Like, where are they? What are they doing? Where they're hanging out? And is this the best place that I can approach them? So for me, if I'm looking for experts, consultants, coaches, LinkedIn would be a really good place to look because I'm helping them with their business. And we know that LinkedIn is all about business. Does that make sense? Mind Shampoo, let me know if I was totally off about what you do and if that makes sense to you. All right. So let's move on to Sean's question. So Sean, how to market to men 40 plus for weight loss, healthy lifestyle. These guys tend to mansplain weight loss and fitness to me when they say they want help. I have a course, Transform Myself in One Client. Okay. So it's not just your clients who try to mansplain, it's all men. Just kidding. All right. So you're going to have to, again, I can't tell you how to market them because they're going to tell you how to market to them. So what you need to do instead is, again, get these men on a call with you. Tell them that you are going to buy them a coffee for their time or give them a free personal training session. I don't know exactly what you do, but offer them something really small, really easy in exchange for their time, and then ask them those questions that we went over. So biggest fear, biggest pain, what does their life look like? And really pay attention to the words that they come up with again and again. So I have a client in the fitness space for men, and one thing that his guys told him is that they felt that being overweight meant that they like weren't having respect from their wife and their kids anymore. Like they had lost that sense of respect from their family. And that's like a huge thing that he could focus on. So by having these conversations, he's like, does feeling overweight and out of like, is being overweight and out of shape um affecting your relationship with your spouse? And then guys were just like, oh my God, yes, that's exactly what's happening to me. So you need to ask them these questions. Again, get the doc. You guys, email team at Lou Levy or drop your email in the chat and we will send you the doc that that's going to have all these questions that you're going to ask. Okay. Sean, tell me about your light bulb moment. What is your light bulb moment? I'd love to know. Okay. Mind Shampoo, you do midlife crisis women perimenopause. That is a really good niche. That is a rapidly expanding niche. So, kudos to you. But my question to you is, do you think your people are hanging out on LinkedIn? And the answer is yes, obviously, because all women go through perimenopause and menopause. And if doesn't matter if they're on LinkedIn or Facebook. But I think that you might have more luck talking to them at a place where they're not in business mode. You know what I mean? Because they're in their LinkedIn inbox, they're like getting messages about work, about business opportunities, and then you're like, "Hey, are you in perimenopause?" So what I would do for you instead is I would go into groups like Facebook groups with perimenopause that are about perimenopause and menopause, or I just go into groups with lots of women, so like uh entrepreneur for women, whatever, and then start asking people who are in that age range, or make a post, be like, hey, is anybody else here suffering with perimenopause? It's like really affecting my work. Would love to chat with you. All right. So I think that's all the questions. Any more questions, you guys? I want to thank Sean, Mind Shampoo, Fatima for bringing in the questions. Wanted to thank Jill for being here. I think that's all. Again, I'm going to wait and see if there's any more questions coming in, if it's just a lag. And I would love to know what you're struggling. Tell me what you are currently struggling with. What is happening with you in your business right now that you need support with? Because we're going to be here again next week, and I would love to address anything that's happening for you. All right, Sean, so happy that you had that light bulb moment. Again, guys, what's going on with you and your business? What's your bottleneck right now? What's keeping you from making $10,000 consistently every month? Let me know in the chat. Let's address it. All right. So, next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be back here. Grab your coffee, settle in. We have another live chat coming up, and I'm really, really excited to hang out with you guys. So I will see y'all then. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you so much. This is so fun. I've been having so much fun. Okay, so now that we're done here, I can tell you guys like my big evil plan. So my big evil plan is to go live every week on Wednesday and prove a very famous YouTube guru wrong that lives don't work. So I count on you guys for that. All right. All right, Sean, your internal resistance is holding me back, feeling not worthy, I guess. Oh my God. I got to tell you, Sean, I just bought a gong on Amazon, like an actual gong, you know, like a Chinese gong, because every time my clients feel like they're not worthy, they are having mindset issues, I'm just going to like gong the shit out of the gong and get them out of that space, because you are worthy. Okay? You are worthy. And I think that having a chat with your people is really going to help you see that like you got this. All right? And they need your help. So I hope you do that. I will see you. Mind Shampoo, Sean, Fatima, Jill. I will see you guys next week, Wednesday at 12 p.m. And until then, you know where to find me, in my Instagram inbox, in my email. Talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Bye.